What's up, everybody? It's Seneca Tyree from the Royal Built Media Group, and in this video I'm going to show you how to properly mix and master your beats inside of Native Instruments Maschine. That's right, I said it, mix and master inside of Maschine. I will not dump the stems into another DAW. I'm going to show you how to mix and master right inside of Maschine, and I'm going to show you how to export your beats. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so before we do anything, I need you all to put on your headphones. Your headphones are the best way to monitor a mix. Believe it or not, it really is. I do monitor my mix through my studio monitors, but headphones are the best way. Okay, so I'm going to play the intro to the song Lax and Chill. Lax and Chill is now streaming everywhere on all digital platforms under the album The Joy of Mourning. Okay. So once I play this, I need you to put on your listening ears and check out how every sound is panned and where it's placed, and listen to the middle. You should hear like some space in the middle. You're going to hear music, everywhere, but the middle should sound free, where you should hear an artist or someone singing. It shouldn't sound cluttered. Let's go.
Ooh, this is so.
All right, cool. So if you were listening, I'm going to go down, the line. So you have the soul chord right here, the vocals right here. Now you have the beat tags.
Ooh,
and then you have right here number 5, and then number 7. Okay, so from the top on the master, I do have from FabFilter Pro Q2 a subtle stereo enhancer. I did tweak it a little bit on the left and right channels right here, as you see. Next, if we go down to the soul chord, let's go into sound. All right, I do have an EQ on the soul chord because I had to take a lot of the bass off of this sample. Okay, and when I say sample, that means I played everything in here. So every instrument you hear on this track, I sampled it from my Motif keyboard. I played it, and then I sampled it just like that. Okay, I just wanted to make that clear. And so let's play this chord, and let's listen to it with bass. I turn the gain up right there. All right, you can tell the difference. Okay, and so I didn't want that. I wanted it to sound like this. Now listen to the Rhodes on number 7. You can hear some air, some hissing, and that's okay. Don't try to overdo it and take out all of the the air and the hiss in your beats. I mean, that's what VSTs are for. VSTs have no hissing because they're computerized instruments. I tend to love the warm feel, and this is what I do. Now, keep in mind, you can also create that warm, dusty feel with VST chords. So, let's not get it twisted, right? But this is just what I love to do. All right, let's jump right into the hook. And once you hear the hook, I want you to notice how everything is panned and where it's properly placed. We're going to go to the drums, the bass, and the instruments in that order. All right, so let's solo the drums real quick. Listen to the drums by themselves. On the drums group, I have FabFilter Pro Q2, and I have it set to drums. I love FabFilter Pro Q2. You're going to hear me talk about this forever. And I did, mess around with the frequencies on here, blah, blah, blah. And next on the drums group, I boosted the high side a little bit, okay? And the way you do that is you go right there and, just fiddle around with it. You go from there. Next on these hi-hats, I do not have a EQ set to none of them. Why? Because it's my beat. You don't have to do what everyone else does, okay? Let's talk about compression for a little bit. Everyone says you should put compression on a song. I beg to differ. If you do what everyone else does, then your songs, will sound trash, and you're not figuring this mixing and mastering thing out for yourself. Okay, so let's go into right here on track 7. All right, I did put a some metaverb reverb on the snare. Why? Because the snare needed to stand out, and it needed to give some ambiance to the track because the track is very laid back. On the kick, all right, the kick has its own EQ. I did, turn the high mid up on the gain to 6.5. And if you're using Maschine, you should really use your stock EQs. They're there for a reason. Okay. And if another thing, when you're using when you're importing, not importing, but when you're playing tracks, really pay attention to your velocity levels. You don't always have to have them up at the highest level, but concerning when you're talking about the kick and the snare, it should always be up at 127. We know when we're talking about the kick and the snare. Notice on the hi-hats and all of that, I don't have them all at 127 because I wanted the drums to have that live feel. And if you put the headphones on from earlier, you can tell that the drums are like swinging. Okay, now let's go to the bass. Hear the bass with the drums, with the chords. Okay, you hear the bass in the right ear. And if you go to the bass right here, you notice that the bass does not have any EQ on it. All right, I'm using the Scarby bass from Native Instruments Maschine. I don't have any mix on it. Okay, so don't sweat it. You can do this. You got this. You know how to mix and master. All right, it's already put in you to do. All right, so we're going to go to all of these instruments. All right, if you know me by now, you know that I use a lot of instruments in my beats because I love instrumentation. All right, so we have, well, how many tracks we got in here? Ooh, we got 11 tracks. Good Lord. We got the flute, piano, some plucking, chords, whatever these are. All right, I don't know what that is. I do sound design, so I don't know what the heck that sound was. Horns. All right. Notice how everything is panned. Like we got the flute panned to the right, the piano panned to the left. These instruments right here are panned hard right and hard left. The horns are panned hard down and hard left and hard right. Why? Because if everything is placed in the middle, it's going to sound crazy, right? Listen to it again. And you should be able to take out an instrument and to hear how everything is placed. Let's take out that flute. That flute is almost like leading everything. All right, cool. Now that's pretty much it. All right, you see the sax, the synth. I'm trying to see if I have any other effects on these sounds because I hear a reverb. Okay, yeah, so we have a reverb on the piano, right? All right, and just to, let you guys know, I played everything in here. All right, cool. All right, the brass, all of that I played. Okay, cool. Another tip I want to give you guys is when you're sampling into Maschine, make sure you click on normalize. Normalize brings it to a brighter sound. Okay, you don't want to go into you don't want to have your sound and then go into the engine and then hit standard and then hit MP60 like I did when I first got Maschine. Like, oh yeah, it makes my sample louder. Wrong. Don't mess with that at all. Not for increasing the volume. Don't use it for that. Okay. So remember, when you're importing a sample, once you have it in, hit normalize and it expands the sound of your sample. All right. Moving right along, let's go to how to record your vocals. Now, I recorded these vocals before Maschine introduced Maschine clips. Okay, before Maschine introduced Maschine clips. Okay, so I'm going to play this part right here with the vocals. All right, cool. So if you notice right here on the mix for the vocals, notice I have my vocals and everything on its own separate, channel, whatever you want to say. Okay. All right. So on the mix I have, let's see what I put on here. All right. So I have the vocal preset from FabFilter Pro. and I did tweak it a little bit, as you see. All right, and that's on the overall vocals. So if I put that on the overall vocals, you really don't need to put that inside of your individual vocals. It's going to just, it's overkill. Okay, where you see right here where this is gray because I was doing overkill. So you just go back inside of Maschine, you know, inside of your software right here, and you just delete, you know, the ones you don't need. Okay, so I'm going to play every one by itself, each track. Listen to how everything is panned. All right, and once again with the song. Listen to the drums and where they're mixed, where they're sitting. Listen to the bass. All right, check out the bass. Bam. See right here. All right. So right here, this is Native Instruments clips you're looking at. Okay. So check out right here. Bam. Looking for my bass. Where's my bass at, baby? All right. Okay, so we have this slow effect right here. All right, got that pan to the right. And once again, this pluck is pan to the hard left, and so forth and so on. Now the bass, I do have a mix preset on the bass. All right, I put a flat 5 band on the bass because I didn't want it to be pitching real loud. So if you notice, I wanted it to stay very warm. Okay, now if we go to the drums right here, you notice on the drums, I did put an effect on the drums group. All right, put tons of effects on there. All right, so I did increase the drums and the effects in FabFilter Pro Q2, as you see right here. Moving right along, I'll show you what else I did. Right here, I boosted the high side of the drums. Pretty much I just copied and pasted what I did in my drums over here and did it right there, but I just added some a flanger effect on it and a filter effect on it, and that effect I didn't want, so let's just take that off. Now, for those that are wondering, hey, how do I do that jdilla effect on my drums? Well, this is how you do it. Okay, you go right here to your drums. Let's solo the drums real quick. All right, if you want to learn how to do the jdilla effect, this is how you do it. Go right here to this part right there, and then click on groove. All right, and where it says swing, all right, if you want that jdilla swing, you increase that all the way up to 100. You can keep it right here, whatever, it doesn't matter. I turn mine all the way up sometimes, and listen. Okay, bam, there you go. Now I'm going to turn it off. Okay, so some of my drums, I play that swing in there, so I don't need to use this swing function inside of Maschine. I know a lot of people would say, hey man, don't quantize your drums. I'm not trying to hear all that. I quantize my drums, and I love it. So I don't hate on anyone that quantizes their drums. I'm not one of those type of people that says, oh, you need to make your beats this way or that way. When I used to use my MPC 1000 years ago, I didn't quantize anything because I did not know how to use quantize, to the point that people loved my beats on the MPC because they thought I quantized them. All right, cool. So looking at this part right here at the end, let's check this out. All right, listen to the mix. All right, got a drum filter. Cool. So you're like, okay, what did you do? Bam. Let's go right here. Go to sound. Now notice I resampled my drums, the original drums on this beat, and I just reversed it. All right, I'm giving you a few of my tricks. Okay, let's close that off, and then let's show you how it sounds. All right. Okay, so I just gave you one of my tricks, and let's delete that one. So that's all I did. I just reversed it. Cool. All right. Bam. And let's go back to the beat. Listen to the mix. Notice on the drums there is a filter. You can change the filter to whichever you like. All right. You can change it to this one. or keep it on the LP, which is one of my favorites, between the LP or whichever you like. Right here, this is your, you can modify the sound or not. You can turn up the resonance or not. But basically, when you're ending your song or wherever this part might be in your song, you still want it to sound warm. If your song starts out, cool and calm or whatever, however your mix starts is how it should end. Okay, if you're changing up your beat at the end, that's cool. It doesn't matter, but just make sure that your mix is good. Okay, so we went through the drums, we went through the bass. All right, we checked out how we if I put a mix on the bass or not, and you notice that I didn't. And let's check out the groups. So for the instruments, I did not put a mix on where it says instruments. And don't laugh at me, I know how to spell instruments, but I had to write it that way, so real quick. Okay, I know there's an E after the M. Okay, so going to where it says pluck, I did not put a group an effect on that group. And on the drums 2, I did put an effect on there. All right, where it says effects, there's no effects on there. Where it says vocals, I did put an effect on there, and I use FabFilter Pro Q2. Do I think you should get FabFilter Pro? That's entirely up to you. It's my best friend, and I love it. All right, so my name is Seneca Tyree, and I do hope you loved this tutorial. If you would like to see more of this, hey, let me know. Thank you for watching this video. I do hope that it was informative. If you would like more, please let me know. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Tell me what kind of DAW you're using. If you are a Maschine user, tell me all the troubles that you're going through, and I'll try my best to help you out. My name is Seneca Tyree from the Royal Built Media Group. Peace.